by Adelle Nazarian, Senior Media Fellow at the Gold Institute for International Strategy. She's joining us live from Washington, D.C. Adelle, great to see you and welcome back. So Nikki Haley's presidential campaign is facing challenges after her loss in New Hampshire, with some donors withdrawing their support, more perhaps to come. How do you think this will impact chances in future primaries for her? And do you believe that Donald Trump's threats to blacklist her and her donors will have a significant effect on her fundraising efforts?
It's great to be on with you again. Very excited, heated primary season. So I happen to think that, Nikki Haley, South Carolina is going to be very important for her to win. Of course, how she performs in South Carolina will determine, of course, how she will be able to proceed. Personally, I think the writing is on the wall here. I do believe that even if she performs well in South Carolina, the remaining states will be very difficult for her to pull off based on my calculations and analyses. That said, I do think that donors withdrawing their support is very telling. President Biden himself said that he believes the primary is over effectively and Donald Trump is the nominee. A lot of people have been saying that they think that Nikki Haley could perform better because she's been getting Democratic support as well. Although I happen to feel that in a general election, there's still a very strong base of support for Donald Trump, including, of course, the MAGA base. And I don't necessarily think that if it comes to be head-to-head competition between Nikki Haley and President Biden, that she would have enough support from the Democrats or Republicans to be able to pull off a victory. And I think that's why a lot of people are seeing that Trump is the most viable candidate to take on a successful primary challenge to President Biden.
Yeah, and you talk about these Democrats that we heard that they were voting for her in New Hampshire and possibly moving forward if she is going to get forward in this race. It's really interesting that these donations and these votes for Nikki Haley is not because they support her policies or believe that she would be in the best position to be president, but rather as a strategic move to weaken Donald Trump's chances of winning the Republican nomination. What are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. And I think that's become so apparent. And I think it enrages a lot of everyday Americans to see that. And it's quite frankly jarring. They've thrown everything at him and he's coming out still on top. So I think what this has done is actually empowered him even more greatly. I think that they can continue to try to take jabs at him and swipes at him and more, but you can't stop the will of the people is what we're seeing, I think, increasingly. And I just want to point out that I thought it was interesting how the media is now trying to turn even Tim Scott's endorsement of President Trump, South Carolina senator who was appointed by Nikki Haley, but of course Nikki Haley chose to endorse Trump. You have Charles Barkley and Gayle King coming out saying it was quote unquote ridiculous. Charles Barkley said it was ridiculous. It had nothing to do with race whatsoever. And they made it about race because he is a black man. Yeah. And it's just absurd that they're saying that Tim Scott coming out and endorsing Donald Trump will not result in black votes. I'm sorry, no one made it about race except for the left. And this is just such a telltale sign of how increasingly people are becoming so disenchanted with the Democratic Party because of that. And so I think Donald Trump's done a great job from what I have seen in terms of rallying support from various demographic groups. And I think that's only going to continue to soar, frankly, when people try to continuously race bait and make it about issues that this country should be long past discussing. Equality for all, one for all, e pluribus unum. I hope more people can really live up to that standard that the founding fathers had in place.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. The party of tolerance is making race an issue once again. Well, Adelle, it's great to talk to you, as always. So much more to talk about. Unfortunately, I have to say goodbye for now. Adelle Nazarian, Media Fellow at the Gold Institute for International Strategy. Do come back. Thanks.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.